Hey there. For those of you that don't know me, I'm Trish Campbell. I am here. I'm going to be meeting my good friend Nadine Searle every new moon ish. We try to get together and have these chit chats, love me chit chats. And I'm just waiting for Nadine to join. And while I'm waiting, I'll just like share why we do these around the new moon, or try to aim to do that. Doesn't always work out, and we just go with the flow as always. But mostly we do that because new moons are always a time for new beginnings, setting new intention, being intentional, and like so you might hear that a lot. It's starting to sound like cliche, but it's actually the truth. Like we are naturally inclined to want to follow that lunar cycle, the natural law, the law of nature that we are a part of, and it's a lot of us are coming back to that feeling that we've been thrown out of our circadian rhythm and working with the laws of nature and all of that. Those astrological energies are always there to support us, whether we believe in them or not. And so, yeah, we just always like to take this time to be intentional, talk about topics that sometimes are hard to talk about, difficult to talk about, and a lot of people don't go there, but we always love to because yeah, it's just good to explore our humanity, share our stories, and that's how we connect with one another. So and also, it's this chance for a new beginning at each new moon. I just want to say too, you don't have to wait for the new moon to set intention to start over. Every moment can be an opportunity to start again, to change something that you've been wanting to change, to help you grow. And it's not that there's something wrong with us, it's that we are meant to grow and evolve as humans on this planet. We came here with a plan. That blueprint is the astrology, is what we have to help guide us and support us and make life make sense. So whether you follow astrology or not, it's happening regardless, and it's there for us to see our full potential. And I think a lot of times, like, well, over history, astrology has been put on the fringe as like woo woo, it doesn't work. But I feel like quite the contrary from just my own self teaching in astrology and just using that as a tool in my own healing. And I think part of it is because we can be empowered when we learn what our potential is, and we can do that. That our astrology chart is kind of a blueprint. Here's Nadine. And blueprint for our life. So it doesn't have to go according to that plan. We have free will, of course. And it's also a guide. It helps us make sense if we look in like where we've been and kind of connect the dots. So, and I think like we've been conditioned to put that on the fringe, but also we're afraid to look at and really meet our full potential. So I think a lot of times astrology scares people because of that. So welcome, Nadine. I was just in the middle of a thought that I wanted to share around. I was sharing while I was waiting for you, I was sharing why we do this around the new moon, and why we set why we try to be intentional with that. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. We go with the flow, and we just had a new moon in Leo on Sunday, depending on where you are in the world. I think it was Sunday for most, and
Yes.
yeah, and it's a chance for us to begin again with something new, to yeah, really think about and be intentional about what we want to move forward with.
Yeah. 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 It's so I've just been distracted. I tell you, I can't talk and read, can I? And I've just said pure arts group.
Oh, hi,
Hello.
Pure Arts Group.
I'm saying hello. I'm presuming that's lovely, Leslie. So hi, hi, hi.
Oh,
Thanks for joining us.
I love them.
So terrible. I can't do two things at once. But you're absolutely right. Feeling the energy of the new moon. It's a
Hmm.
powerful one again, isn't it? And it's a little bit unsettling, isn't it? That energy, but it's big. And
Yeah.
as you know, I lean into that. I really go with the flow
Hmm.
of it. I do my rituals, and I love doing that. And it's so, so powerful. So creating and setting my intentions this time was big. And I'm moving forward in, coming through my treatment, my cancer treatment, and I feel, yeah, I felt a little bit like the new moon energy was for me.
Yeah, I
And
yeah.
it's nice, yeah.
I love
Did you feel like
that
that?
you've made that connection to that and really, I mean, and that's what happens when you make this kind of a practice and you kind of naturally make connect those dots to what does this mean for me? Because for everybody it's different. Everyone's at their own
Yeah,
on their own
yeah,
path and connecting their own dots and moving to the next dot. And I think that yeah, like this can be such a powerful time. I feel like for me too, like we have the new moon, but there's so much astrologically going on, and that's what I was explaining about you know, whether or not you believe in astrology, it's there for us as a blueprint to use to sort of make sense of our life, but to also view what our full potential could be.
yeah,
And I think sometimes we're afraid of stepping into and meeting our full potential because it's scary and it's unknown, and we think, oh, really?
mm,
Like I could do that, or I could. And so
yeah,
we're just like everything else that we're afraid of that discomfort. So I love that you made this connection for this new moon, kind of, you know, coming full circle. And I was mentioning about how we like follow that natural or the law of nature, and we're, you know, more and more stepping into that. So like, and viewing what we're walking through as sort of this spiral, and you making that connection. I know we've had conversations around you going through treatment and all of that. So it's like all right here in front of you to kind of reflect
yeah,
on and set those intentions. So,
yeah, yeah.
and I
And
think, yeah, were you going to say something?
yeah, I was going to pick up on the when you said it's sometimes scary and
Yeah,
challenging, and it is. What I am doing at the moment in my business and in my personal life, as I say, I can see light at the end of the tunnel of my cancer treatment, so it's coming back to
yeah,
some kind of reality and everything. But I'm finding that quite challenging. I'm finding that quite difficult. So I am really pushing myself a little bit, and yeah, the emotions are really high. I think we've talked about it before, haven't we? While I was in the thick of my treatment, I was sort of I had a different mindset and everything, and now
hmm,
it's although I'm so grateful and you know everything's going well, the emotions are higher up and around the moon energy. They're there as well, aren't they? So pushing
right.
myself a little bit, challenging myself to be out there. And you know, the honest truth is, and I'm sure a lot of people find that, you know, I haven't really worked for 2 years. This whole cancer treatment plan has taken up my whole world. You're in
Hmm.
other people's hands, you know, you're doing it. Now I'm sort of going, oh my goodness, you know, I don't recognize myself physically, but also how I am, how I show up in the world, like you say. So
Hmm.
it's an interesting time for me personally.
Yeah,
But I think it is, and for you, you know, you've had so many changes in your life, haven't you? You know, moving house, and can I share your latest little joy?
sure. Yeah.
You have a rescue dog, don't you? So
Yes, I do.
I
His name is Bucky, and he's 2.5. And yeah, I'm just so he's a Australian Shepherd Lab mix, and it's just been so natural, and it's one of those things where you just know, like I feel like he found me, and I mean
yeah.
I kind of put it out there that I wanted to get a dog at some point
Mm.
and a cat,
Oh,
but I think
yeah,
I settled on a dog first, and then yeah, put it out there, and then like I said,
mm,
he found me, and it's been so
yeah.
natural, and it's only like we're the third day in, so yeah, but it's
Exciting,
going well.
exciting
So
too.
yeah, I'm
Yeah.
excited.
And
Yeah.
again, you know, you have to. I'm sure you stepped into some courage there yourself
Right.
to think, can I do this? Is it the right thing? Picking the right dog, all of that. You know, it is putting
Hmm.
ourselves out there. It's doing what we want, and we're lucky that we get these opportunities. But it is sometimes, you know, I don't know about you. I call it a wobble. I have wobbles every now and again, and go, can I do this? Is it the
Hmm.
right thing? Did you feel that when you were thinking about getting a dog and your move and
Yeah,
everything?
all the feelings come up, and like, can I do this? And I start thinking about all the things that like, you know, might stop me from doing it. But then it's so that's what I think naturally we go to, we're so easily like pulled to what's negative sometimes about, or like, you know, like what will I do when I go away, or if I have to
Yeah,
like, you know,
yeah,
be away for an extended period, or all that. But I feel like, you know, with the way that I'm living my life these last few years, and want to continue to, it's just to trust that everything is going to work out in the way that it's meant to, and we're always universally supported, divinely supported. And yeah, you have to make plans too, but I feel like it's, yeah, like all those emotions, and then, yeah, how is this going to be? Like, will, well, I don't know, I don't know this dog. Is he gonna, like, is he gonna be, it's hard to train, or,
Mm,
behavioral wise, and all of the things,
mm,
especially coming from another home. And it was a
mm,
sad situation where they didn't want to make that choice. And so, and yeah, like there's just all these emotions wrapped up in that.
yeah,
But at the end
yeah,
of the day, like if it's something that we feel, I feel like with anything that we're meant to be doing, then yeah, there's going to be parts of it that are going to make us uncomfortable, but that's the whole point. And that's the, I was talking about that before you got on. Like we're meant to like step into change, even if it's uncomfortable. Like and it's not because there's something wrong with us or we need to be fixed. It's because we're meant to grow and evolve
yeah,
here while we're
yeah,
here for a finite time. And I think a lot of times we get comfortable with what's familiar, and then we don't want to um, face the discomfort of change.
yeah.
So we just kind of put it off, put it off, put it off. And like I think that's like bringing in the topic that we wanted to talk about,
Perfectly,
also
perfectly.
connected to your treatment and where you are with
Mm,
that, but
mm,
like of us like being okay with not being okay. Like
yeah, yeah,
that it's like there's always, and it's become less of a stigma around mental health, or what, like, to not be okay. I think the issue, or a lot of the challenges that people have around that, is because it's uncomfortable to, like, when you say, hi, how are you doing, Nadine, and then you say, oh, I'm good. But if you give me the real answer of how you're doing today, and it might make, it might be uncomfortable to hear the truth.
yes,
And I think
yeah,
because, like, we haven't done that with ourselves, we haven't met ourselves in that truth first. And that's why we're like talking about all the things that we talk about, so that we can
yeah,
get to that truth. And we all, the truth is our own truth for each of us. Like it's all always unique.
mm,
But there's something about like facing that then allows you to be able to hold, and to, when I say facing your truth, it means that comes with emotion, and sometimes those emotions don't feel good, and
mm,
it allows us to, but if we do go there and sit in those emotions and move through them, then we're able to do that with somebody else, and we're able to handle when somebody says, I'm not doing so good today, or yeah. um so I feel like that is
yeah.
like connected to
Sorry,
um
I've got a little distraction here.
oh, that's okay.
Next Wednesday, did you say?
Yeah,
You doing anything then?
I don't know. I don't know.
I'll go and find you.
Oh, yeah, do that. Do that. I'm so sorry. This is real life. This is
That's
live.
okay. That's totally this is
I do.
life. This is
I'm
this
so
is our
sorry.
life. So
Distraction. I'm trying to say that. No, no, no. But there you go. Sorry. I'm back.
that's
I'm back. But
okay.
yeah, you're so right. And you put out this lovely post promoting this, didn't you? What we're going to talk about. And what you've said is it's that kind of out having the capacity to hold another's emotions.
Hmm.
We do. You're absolutely right. You said it at the start there, didn't you? When people say, how are you, you go, oh, I'm fine. That's the
Yeah.
go-to, isn't it? And then quite often there is no more, because like you say, the people that actually have asked you, that's what they want to hear. And we
Right.
are conditioned for that, aren't we? And where now you're talking about sitting with our own emotions sometimes is uncomfortable, but
Hmm.
we are aware of how uncomfortable we make other people feel.
Right.
And so we don't always speak our truth, do we? We don't always say the truth. So it's something, and this is such a good topic for conversation, to just get that out there. And I hope other people will start to talk to each other about it and say, you know, maybe I can say, or maybe I don't know. I've experimented with a little bit when people ask me how I am, and saying, well, I'm doing okay, but do you really want to know
Yeah.
how I am? And
Exactly.
just to
Yeah.
see,
That's
because
good.
sometimes they
Hmm.
don't, and actually I don't want to go in. I mean, I can easily go on and on about moaning about things
Hmm.
and poor me and everything, but I don't necessarily want to. And also, um, that's a little bit of a way of me, as I say, experimenting with, are they ready to hear? Have they got time to hear? Have they got the emotional capacity? And again, maybe I shouldn't be concerned about that, but that's what I've been doing a little bit more lately. And and just seeing how that goes, because it does me good to be truthful.
Mm-hmm.
It does me good to actually tell the truth when I have moments when I am struggling, rather than just say, oh, I'm fine, and then everyone thinks I am fine, you know. I mean, do you find that with people? I know we've talked about the reason for this is because of your books, and I know putting your feelings out there like you did in your books,
Mm-hmm.
there's uncomfortableness there, isn't it? Some people are going, oh, you know, did you have to share? Did you, that kind of
Right.
thing. You faced that big time in
I
that way,
mean,
didn't you?
yeah, and just the whole premise of like the for lack of a better word, journey or experience that I had around like where that came from was realizing I was like the people pleaser and wanting that's what we do. Like, so I think
Mm.
everyone has that in them to some degree, and
Yeah,
wanting to make people around them feel
yeah,
okay about how they're doing, because
yeah,
it is uncomfortable, because we have this like conditioning that we need to be good and everything is good. I'm healthy. Everything's good in my life. And then so you don't have to worry about me. But it's like this isn't reality all the time. Not every day is a good day, and that's okay. And it's like the more we can be open about how we're truly feeling and be able to really hold that for people when they ask you how you're doing, because asking how you are has just become um like a formality, or we're exchanging pleasantries or whatever. It's
yeah,
not really like there's no real meaning behind it anymore.
yes,
It's almost
yeah,
like it's a default question and we're not even
yeah.
ready for the answer, like you said. So it's like
Mm,
sometimes I'll ask somebody how they're doing, and you know, I really care. I am ready to hold the real answer. And I
yeah,
think that it's just become so hard for people to do that, because like we want everyone around us to think we're doing all right, because we don't want to put that burden of
yeah,
anything on other people. And I feel like,
yeah,
you know, you and
yeah,
I've talked about your treatment, even when you were going through your treatment and then coming out of that and seeing, you know, people kind of witnessing you through your experience and then where you're at now. And I bet you
yeah,
get that, like, oh, you're good now, right? Like
yeah.
you're done.
So,
You're
so, so much, and it just, you know, and I am. I just got to say, there's someone put a little comment here. Thank you for commenting and joining in with
yeah,
us. That's so me. People can resonate.
yeah.
So yeah, thank you
That's
for putting
Raquel.
that.
Hi, Raquel.
Hi, hi. But it's so true. And like you say, you know, I know the people that have listened to me, you know, this has been going on a long time. I am coming to the end of my
Hmm.
cancer treatment and it's brilliant. I'm okay. You know, things are good. There's lots of things to be grateful for. But I still have moments when I'm struggling.
Right.
And I do like to share that with people because it's valuable for me, but it's also valuable for them. It not to scare them. I'm concerned about how worried they are about me. That's a big thing. And
Hmm.
anyone going through anything is always thinking about other people, and we don't want to worry them. But it's important to be, like you say, authentic and tell the truth, isn't it? You know, and know, of course, the other thing with me as well is that I know that I might be feeling something at one time. The emotions will bubble up as they do, but that doesn't mean that I'm not okay. It just means
Right.
the emotions coming up, you know. So
Exactly.
where you said it's okay to not be okay, yes, it is, but also it's okay to know that that doesn't always last. You know, I am happier than I've ever been. It doesn't mean I still have moments where I cry and I feel terrible and I feel
Hmm.
sorry for myself, you know. But I am in the whole. I'm doing really well, and as I say, I'm it's like a new life. You know, I feel blessed. But like you said, with my recent sort of what's happening in my cancer treatment, you know, I'm coming out the other side. I've had both my surgeries now, so I share a little experience with you, if I may. I had I came to a point where I thought, right, I need to well, I want to actually look at buying some bras, different size, you know, different kind of thing going on. You know, I'm a different shape than I was and a different size. And I've been in compression bras since both my surgeries and will probably need to stay in them for quite a while. But I thought, right, now's the time. So I go, oh, this is going to be fun. This is going to be great. And everything. I
Hmm.
was so excited. I had my lovely friend Teresa supporting me, my rock, who's always supporting me with these things. And we both thought, oh, this is going to be fun. But it wasn't quite as fun as I thought.
Oh.
I tried on one of my old bras to get the measurement of the band around just to see and everything. And I'm looking at myself in the mirror, which I'm doing a lot of lately to adjust and get used to everything, you know, and that's a good thing. And I had a bit of a shock. I wasn't really prepared for what I saw. This bra that was oversized with my new shape inside, and I just thought, oh, so it was a bit traumatic, and yeah, and it affected me quite a lot. And I really feel that I wasn't expecting that necessarily, but it
Mm-hmm.
was a valid emotion. It happened, you know. Of course, as I say, I was with someone who supports me tremendously, and we had a bit of a giggle about it, you know. But it did have an impact on me, and I thought, oh, I'm not. There's something else to go through that I wasn't thinking about. So, and again, how I can really understand what people go through, and you know, other people must have done that too. You know, it's adjusting to things, and then getting something almost sideswipe you again that you're not prepared for. So that was one thing that sort of happened to me, and I do find that yes, I don't have to share that with people, but it's quite freeing to be able to say it. I love the
Mm-hmm.
fact that I can share it here with you and anyone else who wants to listen, rather than hiding. Because again, I've talked about it before, haven't I? That kind of shame that I sometimes feel um, about what I'm going through and everything, and it's not justified to feel shame, but it's a feeling that comes up for me. So by sharing, I'm releasing that, and I'm not sitting in that shame. I'm actually just going, this happened, you know, it was traumatic.
Yeah.
I wasn't expecting it. You know, it's made me understand again what other people go through, which is beneficial for me. But also something to share as well. I mean, I told you, didn't I? And I said, oh, never guess what happened. And although I can say it quite light-heartedly, like I'm doing now, it was a big thing. So, I mean, do you find that there's things that you've been through that you know you sort of think I wasn't expecting to feel like that? I mean, did you have that with your house move or any
Yeah.
changes?
I mean, yeah, like as exciting as things can be, some, to make that move or that change, like it does come with the other side of, yeah, I'm in this new space now. Like I don't have, like my kids aren't with me anymore. Like they're on their own. I'm an
Mm,
empty nester and all the, realizing that for the first
yeah,
time at 54, I'm living on my own. So that, like, but all of those emotions are valid. It's not just focusing
mm,
on like allowing the positive emotions and then pushing away the negative. No, we need to sit in all of it. Like you said, you just gave a perfect example, and I want to come back and highlight that like you weren't feeling good, you were sitting in that emotion and kind of feeling bad about that. And I think number one, we shouldn't feel bad because those
yeah,
emotions are valid. And I'm not like, but it's also such a common thing for us to do is to feel bad about feeling bad. And why do
yes,
we do that? Because like a negative emotion is just as valid as a positive emotion that we've deemed
yeah,
positive. But
yeah,
it's the negative emotions, the pain, the shame, the guilt, the grief, all of the things that come with darkness and sadness and sorrow are the things that are our greatest teachers. Like that's where the wisdom is. It's like, why, what's underneath this?
yeah,
And
yeah,
so, but what I wanted to highlight too is that like by allowing yourself to go there, even if it didn't feel good, now, like you said, you're able to talk about it without that emotion. You let go of that emotion
yes,
and you've
yeah,
let go of like, whatever it was that you felt bad about. So that's the whole
mm,
point of going there and sitting in it and even sharing your story, which I was also mentioned that connecting back to what I was talking about when I was waiting for you, is that like sharing our stories, sharing what we're going through, like something, it helps other people, like it connects us to other people, other
yeah,
humans. It connects our humanity. It brings us together. It makes us know we're not alone. Like we're not the only one. We feel seen and heard. It's not like everything I'm going to share about myself you're going to relate to, but you might find one thing that there's a parallel in your own
yeah,
life. And that's why we're talking about what we're talking about. Like somebody may not have gone through your particular experience, but everything you're sharing is transferable to just life in general. And
yeah,
so it's just
yeah,
you're seeing
absolutely.
it at in one snapshot of an experience in your life.
Mm,
And
mm,
we can kind of connect those dots to other things we've been in, find parallels in all of it and in how we're feeling. And I love how you said that, you're the happiest you've ever been. And then, but that doesn't mean that you don't have your bad days. I mean,
mm,
I think that's so
mm,
important that it's okay to have like bad days and allow yourself to feel it, because then you don't have to carry that. The reason why there's like chronic depression, and I'm just like, this is my own understanding and why it can become a chronic issue is because we push it away, we resist it. And then so in that resistance, we're holding on to it actually, and we're
Yeah,
carrying
yes,
that
yeah,
instead of
yeah,
allowing ourselves to be depressed for a day, 3 days, whatever it is, let ourselves go through that experience, find ourselves in that, because I feel like we find a piece of ourselves in that, where
yeah,
that sad, depressed feeling is like a sense of lost, feeling lost or losing ourselves. So we come back
mm,
to ourselves in that process. And I feel like that is so much more helpful, and helps us like just connect with one another, helps us navigate life better than constantly pushing away negative emotion,
yeah,
whether it's
yeah,
something that's every day, or like we will find when we start to sit with it and allow it and process it and feel it and release it, then it will start to dissipate. Like you said, now you can
yes,
talk about
yes,
it in
yeah,
retrospect without that emotion
yeah,
attached to it.
yes,
So, which is
yeah.
huge.
It is,
And
isn't it? It's a big,
yeah,
big shift, and it's a good thing to do, isn't it? And I hope people listening will actually feel that. You know, it's good to feel it to start with, you know, which is something people know that I've shared so many times. I never used to do that, push it away. It's good to feel it. You need a bit of courage to do that, but it also is so good to share it because you're processing, aren't you? You're
hmm,
processing it and you're doing something that's really healthy for your mind and your body, actually, to process it and get it out there. And then the upside as well is that it does help other people. Other people, like you say, can go, oh, yeah, I know what she means, and they go, I'm
yeah,
not alone, that kind of thing. And that is so helpful, isn't it? And that is really why we do these chats that way we do, isn't it? Because we want people to pick up on one thing or more and actually feel, oh, someone understands, you know. And I know that I have so many people around me that give me that and that understanding, and I want other people to have that too. And I'm sure you do, don't
yeah. Of course, we all
you?
do. And I
Mm,
want to come back to your experience with your treatment and how, because I know you've shared with me, and if it's okay if I ask you this, because I feel like it doesn't matter whether you've, definitely probably people who have been through their own breast cancer diagnosis and navigating treatment can probably relate. But I feel like people who've been through grief, and any kind of grief, whether that's heartbreak, like you've had a breakup or you've lost a loved one, I
yeah,
feel like, you were getting the questions of like, oh, you're done your treatment now because your hair came back. You
yeah,
know, you were very open and vocal and out there with your experience, because number one, it was helping you, but it was
yes,
also, I feel like I witnessed other people getting inspired by
yeah,
your
yeah.
sharing your journey, your experience. We
Mm.
don't like to use that word, but
I,
as you
I
went through the different
yeah,
stages of treatment, and as you went through all the emotions, and then you start to get your hair back and start to, come through the other side of